Welcome to Wedding Pros. Be sure to subscribe and hit that alert bell. Check us out on Apple Podcasts as well and Spotify. We do a weekly podcast for you wedding creatives. Let us know what you want to hear about. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that is data redundancy. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about data redundancy. This is a subject that I think a lot of people find very perplexing. If you're a creative and you maybe don't think you have the most technical know-how, it can be very intimidating, right? I see questions all the time from people. What RAID should I buy? What hard drive should I buy? Is this fast enough read-write speed? We're not going to get into a ton of those details today. We'll do that maybe another time if you want. And if you have any questions specifically that you want us to get into in the future, we're glad to, because I'm a hardcore nerd. But today we're going to keep it really simple, which is how to have a very safe, secure, and pretty easy, by the way, and actually I think affordable, data workflow that allows you to have 4 copies of your files. And so we're going to get into that. So we all know at the beginning of a wedding day, you got a ton of media. Or not at the beginning, sorry, at the end of a wedding day, you got a ton of media. You get back to your office or your studio or your house, wherever you work, and you got this pile of drives. One rule I would say you should put in place is set the exact time you want to be doing your weekly uploads and actually hold to it. Like, don't sit around with cards in your office all week. But we, by the end of day Monday, we want every single thing from the weekend to be captured. Whatever works for you, but just have a rule and stick to it. And so you got all these things, and you got to know where you're going to put them. So this is how we do it. Our flow goes like this. First, we show up at the office and we have a set place for all our media. And we keep them in piles based on the weddings, and they're actually labeled inside of cases for the weekend. And so we take them out, and first thing we do is we're going to take them and we're going to put them on this edit drive. So this edit drive is a RAID 0 hard drive, a really large one. We like to use LaCie's, but we've used other ones in the past. But our key is RAID 0 because it's usually really, really fast and allows us to have no slowdowns during the editing and rendering processes. And so I do know some people, they say never make copies from a hard drive. We don't follow that rule. We find it's fine. As long as you're double checking and making sure that what you're copying is actually copying over, I think you'll be fine. If you're more comfortable to just go directly from your SD cards into all these things that we're gonna talk about, feel free to do that as well. For us, that's not what we do. So we take everything, we put it directly on the edit drive, and then from the edit drive, we make a copy. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it inside this NAS. What is a NAS? NAS stands for Network Attached Storage. It attaches to your internal network. It attaches also, in our case, to the cloud. And it does something really cool we're going to talk about later. But this is a great resource internally because it's kind of like an in-office archive. Ours is rather large. I don't know if we might put a picture of it up on the screen, but we use one from QNAP. It's very affordable, and you can just put in your hard drives, and you can use inexpensive hard drives and just fill this thing up with all the storage you need for an entire season. That's what we do. The next thing that we do is, some of you guys that are like more OCD, you're gonna like hate my handwriting, by the way. I'll make sure that 2 goes right in the circle for you. All right, the next thing we do is we put it inside a client drive. And so this is the hard drive we deliver to clients. Some of you might use, I don't know, some kind of delivery method for delivering raw footage, or maybe you're delivering on thumb drives. I don't know, whatever works for you. We deliver on just small USB hard drives. And so we put all the client's footage immediately in that client drive. Why do we do this? Why not wait till the end when we're gonna put our exports on here as well? We do this because I want that extra copy. If this thing breaks and this thing breaks, I know I have this, and it's just that extra level of redundancy, and it makes things a lot easier. And also I like getting things done up front, out of the way, so we don't have one more thing to remember at the end. And the last place that this thing goes, and probably for some of you the coolest place, is it goes in the cloud. So what happens is this NAS runs a process, and every single night it goes, make sure these 2 things look the same, and it's looking and syncing, and it's adding files and replacing files and doing all this stuff for you. And so keep in mind, if you have a network attached storage that's linked to the cloud at all, a lot of times they tend to take a little while. So make sure you have a fast internet connection. It's gonna be held back by your internet connection, and I would really say, don't use a wireless NAS. for video or even photo backups. Use a NAS that has an Ethernet connection that can go fast. If you have fiber and you're like a really crazy nerd, even better. But I would say this thing is amazing because it means I don't have to remember to back it to the cloud. The only thing you gotta do, don't leave it alone to its own devices. Check in on your files. Go to wherever your cloud storage is, whether it be Google Drive or Dropbox or AWS or some kind, whatever you're syncing to. These NAS drives, you can link with a lot of services. Go check it. Go look and make sure that the files you expect to be there are there. Make sure that this looks like this. We have a couple processes once a week and also monthly to double check that we're making sure it's uploading and syncing and it's all good. But why is that so important to have a remote backup? Well, here's why. Let's imagine a fire sweeps through our office and destroys this and destroys this and destroys this, and all these are gone too because we shot at a bunch of weddings. All I gotta do is go to this and back it up, and wow, I have everything and I'm good to go, and the client doesn't need to be any the wiser that my office burned down. Although I could probably get a lot of sympathy for that. Anyway, I'm gonna put some of you guys are wondering what we use, and a lot of people ask that question, what's the good this, what's the good that? Really quick, a lot of it's all the same. Don't spend too much time worrying about exactly the right thing. Just make sure you have a lot of it and make sure you're ready for it to break. It all can break. We've bought a lot of this stuff and almost all of it breaks at some point, which is why we have redundancy. But for those that are interested in what we use, we're gonna put it inside the description. We'll just put links and you can see what we use. We have a whole range of different things, but we'll put it in there so you can see. If you have any questions, let me know. If there's anything you want us to get into even deeper in another video, be sure to let us know in the comments. Like I said, subscribe, check us out on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys so much for checking out Wedding Pros.